How's it going, everyone? What you're going to see today is a breakdown of the assault kit in Battlefield 4. If you've seen my previous videos, especially the recon one with regard to which weapons I like to use, the attachments I like to equip on those weapons, the equipment I use, the grenades, everything about them, this is the basic formula for it. Of course, though, it changes depending on the map. It'll change depending on the map circumstances. But I'm going to provide you with a kit that I find is most successful and very versatile for situations, and you can have great success with it if you know how to handle the basic situation. And I'll get into breaking down the weapon first. The first one I like to... the thing with assault weapons in Battlefield 4 is there's not a lot of differences between a ton of them, to be perfectly honest with you. The only difference is the fire rate, really. When you look at the Lsat here, which is probably in my top 3 for choice, fire rate's 800, but if you fire this thing in tap fire or burst fire, it's an absolute laser beam. And because the fire rate's pretty high at 800, it's great in close quarters, so it covers all ranges. It's absolutely amazing. Ace 23, as everyone knows, is the M16, so it's going to get its hate or love regardless of what you think about it. But it's definitively, without argument, one of the better guns in the game. Assault rifles, I should say. The AUG 3 I have little experience with, but it's nice. I see a lot of people using the FAMAS in close quarters because of that incredible 1,000 fire rate, so it's definitive. I've done a review on the AK 971 praising it for how good it is, so obviously you know my opinion on that. SAR 21 I've heard is despite the low fire rate, is a definitive beast in medium to longer range shooting. The M416, of course, is, well, I guess identical to the Ace 23 and identical to the M16 of Battlefield 3, so it's going to draw hate as well, regardless of opinion. But it's definitively a nice gun as well. Scar H is one of my favorites. Despite the low fire rate, it has the highest damage of any assault rifle, and it's an absolute monster in medium range. So as long as you stay out of short range firing with the Scar H, you're in good business here. And of course, because you start with the AK-12, everyone's going to be pretty familiar with it, and it definitively has no real problems. The choice amounts you have is probably the highest of any other class in the game in terms of interchanging a gun and having good success with it. But of course, if you want, you could choose a carbine, a shotgun, or anything else of that sort. Definitively, though, I'll just use the L8582. It's definitely one of my favorites. On average, this would be, all the attachments here are basically going to be the exact same for almost all of the assault rifles I choose. And the Coyote sight or maybe the infrared sight would definitely be my choice. I've covered why in the infrared in other videos, but the Coyote sight's definitively my favorite in terms of just comfort level. I find I can take out just about anyone at any range with it. A holographic becomes a bit obstructing over longer range. That's why I don't prefer to use that. The infrared sight's really nice if you're in a high foliage area, or you're attacking from an area that's bright to an area that's dark and you're counteracting the sun's reflection. So again, a nice... well, actually, don't look at the sun, but... and that goes for real life too. But the infrared sight's a nice choice to have if you're using sheer logistics. The laser sight's always my attachment because when you're tap firing, long and medium range are covered. The laser sight and hip fire situations in close quarters with the 25% reduction in hip fire penalty, beautiful choice. The suppressor, of course, keeps you off the minimap and reduces your muzzle report, which is absolutely ridiculously nice when you're going for flanks or you're trying to sneak up on an enemy stronghold. Again, the definitive bad part about it is that it reduces bullet velocity and increases bullet drops, so longer range encounters aren't really suggested for it. You can use the flash hider instead. It'll keep your muzzle report a bit lower, but it won't keep you off the minimap. And of course, you can use the muzzle brake if you're going to be tap firing because of the 30% accuracy penalty to automatic fire. Ergonomic grip for me is basically because I tend to move around a lot when I shoot, for good or for bad, but having something that's going to reduce the penalty in hip fire for shooting on the move by 50%, wonderful addition. And that way it actually gives you the best of both worlds in any range, moving or not moving. It's all covered for you. And of course, camouflage on the guns, purely cosmetic. Sidearm, best friend in the game for any kit. And the reason I use the P226 is comfort. I can interchange. I haven't even tried most of all of these out yet, but for the most part, I feel using something that breeds comfort rather than something that you're not comfortable with but has a better output, like say the 44 Magnum, doesn't make a lot of sense. Use what's comfortable. Gadget 1 is the high explosive M320. Great for clearing out explosives, great for clearing out rooms of people that like to bunch up, huddle up. You can use the LVG rounds so that you can actually bounce it around corners. That's a really nice addition. You can use the M26 mass if you're in close quarters and you want to interchange between, say, close, medium, and long range. You can use that. And the defibrillator, on average, I use if I'm in a lot of infantry, like Operation Locker type maps. But if I'm not, I'll use the M320. And I always carry a medic bag. That's a definitive for me. Being able to raise my own health and my teammates' health back up, keep us alive, makes us a better team. Until they get probably nerfed, the M40 minis are the definitive choice for grenades. 80 damage if you're in the blast radius. 2 of them takes you out for sure. You get 3 of them. Easy choice. And again, you can use incendiary to clear out a room, make sure it's clear, but it's not as effective as the minis. Survival's, the knife's purely cosmetic. Survival is on for now for me. Right now I use the defensive tier, but the field upgrades for assault are really versatile. If you like to flank a lot, Shadow would actually really help you an awful lot. Offensively, if you don't have a lot of people dropping, support players dropping ammo, level 2 would actually increase your maximum inventory, so that would be a nice choice as well. But defensively is nice because it reduces suppression, even though it's reduced in Battlefield 4. And of course the armor. Getting in a situation where a person has armor and like it's a neutral battle where you both spot each other at the same time and shoot, he's going to have the advantage on you for the most part. So that evens it out, even slightly I guess, if you both have it. Combat medic is nice if you plan on actually being a revive medic. And the Grenadier one is basically, I guess, if you plan on using explosives. But for the most part, I choose defense or shadow for the most part. And of course, camouflage, chocolate chip cookies, because they rule. But that's a basic breakdown of my kit on average. It isn't definitive, and it does change per map and situation. I just like to point that out. But on average, that's what I use and I find great success with. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned some tricks, or at least enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.